There were a couple groups in New York at the time. Chicago City Limits.
Right.
And one more. There were small ones. There were some small ones that were funky.
We have speed.
Oh, okay.
Robin, you have 5 minutes to let you know when you have 2 left.
Okay, great. I'm wondering, did you grow up in a similar neighborhood to this character?
You know, it's interesting you said that because I feel like I found myself like as an actor and as a personality in this movie because I felt like this is the blue collar everyman, you know, Latin everyman, and I felt like I grew up in a neighborhood like that, you know, lower middle class, lower middle class, poor, you know, kind of ghetto, but the families were very decent. Everybody was just trying to make a living, and you know, you had your hoods and you had all your different types. But it was a really good mix of people all trying to just make it.
Mm-hmm. Are you protective with your daughter the way this guy is? Like if her boyfriend came knocking at the door, would you?
My daughter didn't have any boyfriend because she's only 8 years old. You know, I think I am going to be very protective. I already got plans. Both my kids, my son too. It's going to keep them busy. They'll have those hormones racing, but they'll be so tired, they won't have any time. They'll be in hockey, lacrosse. I'll have them doing Hialeah, whatever. Highlight. What do we call it? Highlight whatever. Just find me a sport. I'm going to put them in everything.
So they're exhausted and
exhausted. They won't have time to even think about sex.
Did you meet with anybody who had a similar situation, a gunshot wound that?
Yes, I did.
Tell me about
I went to
that.
Philadelphia to a couple of hospitals, and I met with guys who had brain trauma injury. And one had recently happened to him. He got shot through the face, and it entered the right lobe, like my character in the movie. And the other guy had been there for about a year or two, and he was in physical therapy. And what's amazing is you're the same guy, but you're not really the same guy. I mean, it could be something as small now that you can't keep rhythm to bigger things like you can't plan long-term anything. You can't plan like appointments in a day. You can't do that kind of stuff. But what happens to these guys a lot of times is 99% of marriages dissolve. Women say, I don't know this guy. It's not the guy I married. It's really interesting.
You seem like you loved trashing the house. Was that like one of your favorite scenes?
I did love that. Because the character, it wasn't just because of me. I love trashing places. I love that. It's just like you let out all that tension. You know, I don't do it to hotels like the rock stars do. I wait till I'm in a movie in the character and then I trash the room.
Tell me about the scene where you're tied up and what was that like to shoot, to maneuver with this?
Well, it was tough because Tyrese was really in it. You know, he was like going for it. You know, he gained 50 pounds, you know, beefed up for our flick, got real ugly for it, Mr. Pretty Boy. And he was in it, and he was like, grabbed me. I had that hood in my head, and he smashed me against a metal box, and it almost knocked me out. And I'm like, he take the hood off, but I'm like, you know, my head's bleeding and all that stuff. It was really intense.
Did you get hurt, really?
Yeah, I got really hurt, yeah. You know, but it helps you in the scene, you know. It doesn't help you with the day after when you're not shooting anymore, but for the moment, the adrenaline's rushing in your body and everybody.
Now, what about that chase scene? Did you do a continuous chase?
That was like a week of running, a week of nonstop, and it was like no more, man. And what happened too is funny because it was very symptomatic of this film. It was against all odds, you know. There was something horrific happening against us every day. And this day, Tyrese had to go reshoot for the Transformers, so he had to leave early. And there's nothing we could do about it because he was contracted to that first. So we were like all depressed driving back. And we're driving back and I thought Tyrese was having an altercation with his girlfriend. And so we went to stop him and it wasn't Tyrese. It was some dude on the street. And he looked just like Tyrese. So he said, let's use him. So we saved the girl, saved the movie. It was great.
That's a great story. You just grabbed a double off the street?
Off the street because he looked just exactly like Tyrese because I confused him. So I go, if I can confuse him, you guys won't know the difference.
Now, let's say, for argument's sake, you were so desperate. Would you ever do an inside job like this guy did?
No, I don't think so. I would never jeopardize anything. But my character didn't, though. He wasn't a part of that. He was innocent. That's the whole thing. I think that's the beauty of this film. It's like, I think it's a paranoia that I live with, that you're going to do everything by the book, you can do everything right, but somehow they're going to blame you innocently, and now you got to defend yourself from the system, from your family and everybody. Nobody's gonna believe you.
How cool is it to drive that Brinks truck?
That was amazing. It's not as much fun as I thought though, because it's the blind spots everywhere, man. It's the worst.
So what's up for you next?
Babysitters comes out May 9th,
Oh yeah.
which is a fascinating little morality play because it's about, I mean, these babysitters in high school start a prostitution ring with the dads, and it all goes to hell in a handbasket. I don't know what does that mean anyway, hell in a handbasket. Anybody know what the hell that means? What a weird cliche. I shouldn't even said it. I don't even know what it means.
Are you playing the babysitter?
No, I'm the dad who starts to fall in love with the prostitute babysitter and starts to wreck his marriage. Oh boy, I'm in hot water.
Cool. Well, looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, it's pretty great.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
It's good
Awesome.
to see you.